going live? Are we live? Are we live? We should be. Okay. All right. Let's get this sorted really quick. I'm gonna put it on Instagram so that people know what's going on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope you can. I really do hope you can. Let me see. What's up, everyone? I'll be going live right now. You know what? I'm actually live as we speak. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Join me. The link is in the story. I'm just gonna go on YouTube. See this really quick. It's very clutch. I will say that it's very clutch to have a camera of this quality because, man, it's not all that easy sometimes to stream with a webcam. I hope the audio is good. I'm gonna listen to it. It's not amazing. The audio is not amazing. I will say that, but let me see this really quick. Paste. All right. Live here. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully, we start to add some people. That was to mute the mic. Okay. I wish I would have made a thumbnail. I wish I would have made a thumbnail. I really do wish I would have made a thumbnail, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Okay, let me see. Let's share all of this. Let's give it some time. Okay, it's pretty cool. Looks good. Let's see if we have some people coming in. If you want to join the chat, you're more than welcome to, of course. Let's see. World Cup. Let's see. This is really impromptu, honestly. I didn't even think I had my gear to start recording, but here we are. Let's see here. All right, any day now. Okay, do we have anyone coming in? Let's see. How do I look at it? Do I look miserable? If I look miserable, it's because I am. I'm very miserable right now. Okay. Okay, that does look a little better. Let's see. I'll be my own #1 fan right here. Thumbs up to myself. We'll give it a couple more seconds. I'm being my own hype man right here. Hope it looks good. I hope it looks good. I have a poster right over here with all the results. We have what, 8 group stage games left. So far, it's been pretty crazy, honestly. This entire group stage has been quite incredible. There's been a lot of surprises, that's for sure. Just looking at some of the results, I honestly expected a lot more out of Denmark. I'm gonna bump up the volume a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna bump up. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna have to bump it up. Um, don't really know what's going on here. But it is what it is. So I don't have access to this feature. What feature are you talking about? Let's see. Edit. Live chat. All right. I think the microphone is just gonna have to. It's gonna have to be this one. All right. All right. So we're live. What's up? What's up? The World Cup. The World Cup is what's up. As you all know, Mexico has been eliminated from the World Cup. It sucks. There's nothing fun about it. There's absolutely nothing fun about Mexico being eliminated. It's one of those things where I never thought I would have to go through. I would have to struggle with getting eliminated from the group stage. But quite honestly, I think that this Mexican team did absolutely nothing, zero, zip, nada. They did nothing to to show us that we were wrong about them from the beginning of the tournament. And I think that if you're a person, I'm gonna get just slightly closer to the. I'm gonna move this light a little bit and down a little bit. There we go. If you're a person that understands the game and you don't let your biases really take over your opinion, you would have known exactly that the Mexican national team was not all that amazing. They weren't great. There was nothing good about this team. And the fact that they even came out alive from that second game, alive in the sense of they still had a fighting chance for the third game, to me it's really telling. To me it's something that I honestly didn't even expect. I didn't really think that this team would have that, but yet here we are. Here we are, and we're somehow still disappointed. But I think we can all agree on one thing: this is the best performance that the Mexican national team had in this entire World Cup, and the best player that Mexico had in this tournament is Luis Chavez, and you can already see that there's teams from Europe calling his name. Bayer Leverkusen already calling his name. He made a real statement in this World Cup because he lifted this very poor Mexican national team. If you're joining me right now, what's up? What's happening? Um, Again, just talk about the national team. Feel free to join the chat, leave a message, do whatever you want to do. But yeah, kind of just diving a little deeper into this Mexican national team. It's quite. I think it's pretty easy to tell what the problems were coming into this World Cup and what the problems were in the first game and in the second game. The midfield is just bad. It's really bad. The midfield is slow. The midfield is old in the Mexican national team. When you have guys like Hector Herrera, Andres Guardado, you're not going to have a lot of speed, a lot of transition in that midfield simply because they're not that fast. They're not in their prime anymore. That is the biggest problem. That right there is the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that they brought players who weren't necessarily in the best of moments, and the midfield really struggled. Um, this is a team that had absolutely no goal whatsoever. They scored 2 goals in this tournament, and they came in the last game. It is it's alarming. Simply put, it's alarming how bad they were. But again, if you followed this team throughout this entire process going into the 2022 FIFA World Cup, you're not really that surprised. As a fan, I'm very disappointed. Of course, that's my national team. I love them. I support them. But you just know. You just we all knew that it wasn't going to be what it was in 2018, in 2014. It just simply wasn't going to be that. And I guess we got used to it. We did. We got used to it, and we were almost arrogant in believing that we were going to make it to the round of 16 when we had to face teams like Argentina, like Poland. Say what you want about Poland. I have my opinions about Poland. I think they're going to get absolutely pummeled on Sunday against France, but they are a better team than Mexico. I had to learn that the hard way. Teams like Saudi Arabia, who at the end of the day did beat Argentina. It was not easy, and that arrogance that the Mexican fan, the Mexican player has really killed us. And I think that arrogance of we'll make it into the round of 16 is another one of those factors that really mess with us in this World Cup. And I honestly don't even know what to say. This is the biggest failure in World Cup history for Mexico. This is the biggest failure. A lot of people say that, and I might even go out on a limb and say that this is the biggest failure in Mexican soccer. Period. A lot of people say that not qualifying to the 2008 Olympics is the biggest failure in Mexican soccer history. I don't think so. I think crashing out of a group stage in a World Cup is a lot bigger. I think we witnessed history right here. Ronaldo says, "Arriba las Chivas." I'll talk to you later, my friend. Alexis Vega, las Chivas, right there. He didn't really finish doing what he was doing with the national team. He didn't really have the ability to carry this team the way that we thought he could. Alexis Vega, I can't really say he disappointed me because I feel like the midfield that was supporting Alexis Vega and Irving Lozano was atrocious. It was terrible the first 2 games, because then you go into this last game, and I think that it did look a little better. Maybe Orbelin Pineda should have played a little more. Maybe I don't know. I can't really think of anyone else. That's really the only other guy. Luis Chavez played amazing. I think he did a great job with the tools that he had at his disposal, with some of the instructions that were given to him. I'm sure that they weren't the best, but yeah, the Mexican national team. I think there's a huge crisis in Mexican soccer, and I'm not just talking about the national team. Sure, what happened today is something that we don't want to see ever again. I don't want to see that repeating ever again. But let's be honest, it had to happen. Us as Mexicans, we had to learn the hard way, and I pray that that's the case with the people in charge of the national team. Because if that's the case, then that means that we're probably going to learn, and we're probably going to make changes. Because guess what? The next World Cup is in 3.5 years. There's not that much time, but the good thing is that we already qualified because we're one of the 3 hosts. So we're good. We're good. But now, this right here is where I really want to see the change. This right here, Gerardo Martino came out right after the game, said, as soon as the ref blew the whistle, my contract with the Mexican national team was up. All right, he's gone. He's one of the problems. People place the blame on him, and only place the blame on him, there's people higher up that deserve a lot more blame than he does. But that's a different story. I think that gets a little too complicated. I think that right now, the fact that Mexico does not have a coach is is an opportunity for me. I think that Mexico should really look at who they have at home. Guys like Jaime Lozano, guys like um, I don't know, even Paco Palencia, even though I don't think he has that much experience. Guys like Potro Gutierrez, guys like Nacho Ambriz, Miguel Herrera. These guys are real options, and I really do think that Mexico should focus on bringing in a domestic coach, a Mexican manager. No one else is going to understand what soccer means to Mexicans other than a Mexican coach. I think it is a huge, huge, huge opportunity for the Mexican national team. They need to get it right. You need to have a good coach, right? It's not the end all be all, but you need to have a good coach. And I feel like there are a lot of very, very good options in Mexico right then and there. I'm going to read this from Ronaldo. Let's see what he says. He says Mexico should have came out this offensive. The game that kid was a game changer by adding Orbelin, Edson, Chavez. Orbelin should have been in the starters. Yeah, Orbelin and Chavez are box-to-box players. That's for sure. Ronaldo says Almeida. They need a coach who knows the sport and has a passion and can transfer it to the players. Yeah, Matias Almeida. I think he's more Mexican than he is Argentine, so he probably does qualify in a way. And I remember there was a big campaign to bring him on right after Juan Carlos Osorio left back in 2018. I think he would have been a great option. But again, Matias Almeida is a guy that knows Mexican soccer. I think he's a guy that can most definitely get the job done. Sure, he's not Mexican by his nationality. He's not Mexican. He wasn't born in Mexico. But the fact of the matter to me is that he is still a guy that knows Mexican soccer and the culture really, really well. He did coach a team that is all Mexican players, right? So I think that gives him a bit of an edge. And another thing I want to say about the Mexican national team is that now that you don't have to play qualifiers, there's a lot of FIFA dates that suddenly just freed up, okay? And you have to take advantage of these FIFA dates. Here's why. Because we all know that whenever Mexico had a free FIFA date, whenever they could play a friendly, who do they play? They play Paraguay, they play Ecuador, they play Senegal, they play Iceland. And where do they play? They play in Chicago, they play in Houston, they play in LA, they play in Orlando, they play in Boston, they play in any American city you can really think of. The problem is that they don't go to Europe. They don't go to places where the environment is not favorable to them. They stay right here because one, the money is amazing. It's very, very lucrative. The deals that they have. Who's going to want to miss out on that money, right? But the actual product, the sport is taking a hit, which is a problem. And then the second reason why they don't want to go to Europe to play friendlies is because, well, it's more comfortable to play here. You're always going to play at home if you go to Chicago, or if you come to Chicago, if you go to Houston, if you go to LA, these cities that have populations that are incredibly high with Mexican people, and Mexican people are going to pay however much they have to pay in order to watch their national team. And to me, I think that now that you don't play qualifiers, you have to take advantage. You absolutely have to take advantage. I think that this is a golden opportunity. You're hosting a tournament. Please don't be like Qatar. Please don't be like Qatar. Don't be that host. We now have a real reference to look at and say we don't want to be that bad host. We want to be a good host. And Mexico could be a good host. Mexico could be a team that can use these games in Mexico and in US, because let's be honest, and let's remember what I just said. Mexico is the only country, the only team in this world that can play at home in two different countries. In their home country, their actual home country, and the US. So you have to take advantage. You're basically the host. You're basically the host of this World Cup in 2026. You have to take advantage of the time that you're not going to be playing qualifiers. Go play against Spain. Go play against Germany. Go play against the Netherlands. Go play Brazil in Brazil. Go play Argentina in Argentina. Go play Australia in Australia. Go over there. You're gonna play at least minimum 3 games at home in the World Cup. Sorry, you're gonna play at least 3 home games at the next World Cup. So you're gonna get plenty of home games. Don't worry about it. Go abroad, play in different places. Go to Serbia, play in Serbia. That's a hostile environment. Play against Serbia. That's a great team too, by the way. I don't know. I think that this Mexican national team, there's a lot of things that can be done. Um, Also, just really focusing on these youngsters, you really got to give them the opportunity that they deserve, because if they don't get the opportunity, what's going to happen when these older guys can't play anymore? You guys saw Andres Guardado. He played 40 minutes, and that was it. He couldn't play anymore. That was our captain on Saturday against Argentina. That cannot happen. I'm sorry. That cannot happen, and it shouldn't happen. That's why youngsters are so important. That's why I was so incredibly happy for Luis Chavez, because he did a great job. He's young. He might be going to Europe. Who knows? But in a way, he carried this team, and I think he did an absolutely amazing, amazing job. That's enough about the Mexican national team. I'm mad as it is. I celebrated those 2 goals like you guys have no idea. I mean, it was probably one of the happiest moments in World Cups for me, because I really, for a split second, I genuinely thought that it was going to happen. But that is what happens when you don't depend on yourself in sports. When you depend on other teams to perform, when you performed so poorly that you automatically lost all control in your destiny, and now your future is in the hands of your opponents, that is the worst scenario to be in sports. It sucks. It sucks depending on other teams, especially knowing that other teams have different interests. I didn't watch the Poland Argentina game. I just saw the goals. But there's people saying that this isn't me. There's people saying that when it was 2-0, it looked like neither team really wanted to attack anymore. It looked like they were both happy with the result because they were both going through. That's exactly what I mean. And Mexico fans, we cannot be mad at Argentina. We cannot be mad at Poland, because we should have beat Poland. And I saw people celebrating the draw against Poland, and I was livid. I was livid because the way that game went, we should have not lost it. We should have, sorry, we should have not tied. We didn't lose, we tied. We should have not tied. Yeah, the save by Memo Ochoa was great. But did we score? No, we didn't. We did not score. All right, let's talk a little bit about who I think my favorite is going into these last, well, it's almost a round of 16. I mean, I don't know who else would be the favorite other than Brazil. I don't see anyone else taking this tournament away from Brazil. Even without Neymar, this team is absolutely incredible. I think that this team has a lot of potential, and the way that I look at I pay attention to them particularly at about the 65th to 70th minute, because I see the substitutions that they make. They take out a world class player and they bring in a world class player. That is a luxury that only Brazilians have. I genuinely don't think there is a deeper squad in this World Cup than Brazil. France, we saw it today. Their squad is not that deep. They lost to Tunisia. Argentina's squad is not deep either. It is not that deep. Belgium, I do think they're going to crash and burn tomorrow. I think the World Cup ends tomorrow. Well, Spain, I think it's a lot of youngsters. So Germany, same thing. Netherlands, I don't trust them. If Christian Pulisic is healthy, we'll talk about that some other time. Point is that I don't think there is a deeper squad in this World Cup than the Brazilian squad. Again, you look at the substitutions that they make and play. Next time that Brazil plays, pay really close attention to the players that come on. And at around the 65th, 70th minute, you're going to see the world class that Brazil has. They have two incredible goalkeepers. One of them only sits on the bench, Ederson. Alisson, he's the starter for sure, and he's an amazing goalkeeper. But if you replace him with Ederson, is it a drop off? No, it's not. No, no one would miss a beat. No one would skip a beat. That's Brazil for you. In these tournaments, especially with how short the turnaround is game to game, you need to have a really, really deep squad. And Brazil has a very, very deep squad. Again, I think that is more than enough for them to win this World Cup. And then you look at how they play. This feels like 2002 all over again, doesn't it? It really does. It feels like 2002 all over again. Long gone are those days of the 2010 World Cup squad for Brazil with Elano, with I don't know, Robinho, a declining Robinho. I don't know any other player. I think that's kind of telling that I can't really remember the guys off the top of my head. Where there was some good players, but not every player was amazing for Brazil. We're over here. They just have an embarrassment of riches in 2022. And I honestly, genuinely don't think that anyone can take this away from Brazil. Even looking at their side of the bracket, if they win their group, they would face second place of Group H, which is probably going to be Ghana. I don't think Uruguay has much. Talk about a disappointment, man. People were really expecting Uruguay to do really, really well. So was I, but there's still a game. Let's just say Ghana gets out of Group H as number 2. I pick Brazil over Ghana. Okay, Brazil over Ghana. They would, in the quarterfinals, Brazil would face the winner of either the winner of Group E or second place of Group F, which I think it's going to be either Spain or Morocco. Spain, Morocco in that E1, F2 side of the bracket. Brazil, let's say it's Brazil, Spain. I trust Brazil in those situations. I mean, it's really not rocket science here. I think Spain is probably one World Cup away. They're still very young, like I was mentioning. So you're not facing a huge juggernaut, right? And then in the semifinal, let's say you face Argentina. I think Brazil is better than Argentina. I think they're deeper than Argentina. They're playing better than Argentina. They have more talent than Argentina. I think Brazil, I'm not trying to discredit their opponents. I just think Brazil is that good. That you look at their opponents and you say, Brazil should probably win relatively easily. And then in a final, who would they face? France? I pick this Brazil over this France. Again, unless Brazil can get Neymar back, unless Brazil loses Casemiro and loses Richarlison and loses Marquinhos and Thiago Silva, all of these guys go down or they get sent off or they can't play for whatever reason, then I would say, okay, Brazil's in trouble. But even then, they can replace them somehow, some way, because they have talent and they're very, very deep. I do think Brazil is a team that can most definitely win this World Cup. I think they're still my favorite. They're still my favorite. You just look at their talent out wide, Vinicius and Anthony, and then when they're not playing all that great and they get subbed off, who comes in? Rodrigo, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? It's hard to beat this team right now. It really is. It's very, very hard to beat this team. What else was I going to talk about? Honestly, I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. I know I had one last thing to say. Disappointments. Let's talk about the disappointments in this World Cup. I know I might be talking a little bit too early. Belgium. I mean, this one was too easy for me. Belgium to be the biggest disappointment of the tournament. They look old. They look lackluster. They depend on Kevin De Bruyne, and Kevin De Bruyne is an amazing player. Don't get me wrong. He's an amazing player. But can he really be a game changer like that? Is he a guy that can take over a game? He's very talented. He's one of my favorite players to watch. But can he take over a game? Can he carry a ball 30, 40, 50, 60 yards and bury it to get a goal? No. Is Hazard in shape? No. Is Lukaku healthy? No. What about that defense? They look every bit of 34-year-olds as they are. It was to be expected. And again, to me, there's a disconnect right there because you have the old guard and you have some young players, but there's some players missing. So what do you do? What do you do? There's no real change in this team. There's no real replacements for these guys, for these Lukakus, for these Hazards, for these De Bruynes. There isn't. Even Courtois is making mistakes now, and he's the best goalkeeper in the world, according to a lot of people. What do you do? What do you do? And I don't think it helps that Belgium plays Croatia, a team that is firing on all cylinders. They conceded a goal on Sunday, and they responded with 4 against a younger team, a faster team, a more dynamic team like Canada, a team that gave a lot of issues to Belgium. They just lack experience and they couldn't finish. Different story. Belgium, they're going to crash and burn. And this so-called golden generation that won 0, that won nothing, is going to go home empty-handed again. The next disappointment, Denmark. They were busier with making political statements than with actually winning games. I think that this Danish side, maybe they started to really believe their hype, and they were like, okay, well, we're favorites. Let's go get this. They could not beat Tunisia in a game where they probably should have lost. They lost to France, and then they lose to Australia. Australia coming into the tournament, people were saying that this was probably the worst team or the least talented team of the tournament, of the 32. Denmark got a point from this group. Just 1 point from this group. What happened? What happened to the Denmark that went to the semifinals of the Euro last summer? What happened to the Denmark that went all the way to a penalty shootout against Croatia in the 2018 World Cup? What happened? What happened? Those are questions that the Danish should be asking themselves, honestly. Um, Again, I feel like they were a little bit more motivated by making a statement outside of the pitch rather than inside the pitch. That could have been a distraction. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is that they went home tonight. They went home, and until next time, Denmark. Until next time, and a lot of these guys are getting older too. You look at Christian Eriksen; he's in his 30s now. Kasper Schmeichel probably played his last international tournament with Denmark. You look at guys like Simon Kjær, probably playing some of their last international football as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Denmark. Huge disappointment. Uh, some of that has disappointed me, and I mentioned them earlier. Uruguay. If they don't get out of this group, oh my goodness. If they don't get out of this group, I genuinely don't know what to say. Because everyone everyone really thought that it was going to be Portugal and Uruguay. Everyone thought that this Uruguayan side was a little more attacking, a little bit more free flowing, less defensive, and a little more attacking. They haven't scored a goal this tournament. They haven't scored a goal this tournament. They conceded twice to Portugal. They couldn't unlock Korea's defense in their opener. When you have guys like Luis Suarez, Edinson Cavani, Darwin Nunez, Federico Valverde, and you can't unlock a defense like Korea's, it's tough. It's really tough. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about Uruguay. Man, they have been really disappointing. Add them to the list if they don't get out of this group. To the list of disappointments, of course. Add them to this list. All right, I've been going for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes now. Again, we have about 8 more group stage games. Costa Rica against Germany. Germany needs to score a lot. They need a lot of goals, and they cannot concede much in order to advance. And they better hope that Spain wins against Japan, because if they don't, if Japan somehow gets 3 points against Spain, not somehow in the sense that I don't think they can do it, but if they can get 3 points from Spain, Germany's in trouble. Germany's in trouble, because then Spain would have 7. Sorry, they would have 4. Um, but Spain has an incredible goal difference. Japan would have 6, and then surely Spain would edge Germany with goal difference. So Germany's in trouble. Germany does not depend on themselves. They can score as much as they want, but if these results with Spain and Japan, or this result with Spain and Japan isn't favorable, I don't know. Germany might crash and burn again. That would be another disappointment. We'll get to that. Canada, Morocco, Croatia, and Belgium. I think Morocco and Croatia probably get it done in advance. In Group B, I think Spain and ultimately Germany advance out of this group. Group G, well, Brazil should win. Serbia and Switzerland. That's going to be a great game on Friday. Oh my goodness, the rivalry, the unexpected rivalry, the story behind this game, and the fact that the winner likely advances to the round of 16. It's a must watch. Again, I think Brazil kind of has it in the bag against Cameroon. I think they can unlock that defense quite easily. But Serbia against Switzerland, watch that one. Ghana, Uruguay, a rematch of that 2010 World Cup quarterfinal. That's another game with a lot of history. And Korea, Portugal. Portugal has looked pretty solid in this tournament. I think Portugal will probably get it done. I mean, a month ago, if you would have told me Ghana and Uruguay were going to, well, I knew they were going to play, but I would have said I would have picked Uruguay. I would have said Uruguay. Uruguay is going to win. They have way too many guys to score goals. They have too much talent to not score. Now look at that. This World Cup has been ridiculous. There's been so many crazy results. But yeah, I think Portugal and Ghana advance. I think Portugal and Ghana advance. I think Ghana gets it done against Uruguay, and then Portugal probably disposes of Korea, and then that'll be that. Netherlands USA open up the round of 16. USA, please get a result for CONCACAF. Please, please, please. CONCACAF has been doing really bad this tournament. By tomorrow, it'll be likely then that every CONCACAF team but the US has been eliminated, so that's not good. Netherlands, I really don't think that they're very strong. I don't see much from this team. If Pulisic is healthy, I know he's day to day, and I know that injury could be pretty serious. But if Pulisic is healthy enough to play, he can make an impact. I don't know. Call me a homer. Call me whatever you want to call me. I think that if Pulisic is on the pitch on Saturday, the U.S. has a great, great chance of beating this lackluster Dutch side. England, Senegal. I don't know why I feel there could be an upset right here. I don't think very highly of England. I just don't. I don't think very highly of them. They're kind of like Mexico. They just always disappoint. All right, that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. For the people that watched, thank you very much. And this is gonna be up. It's gonna become a video eventually. But yeah, that'll do it. Probably have one of these within the next couple of days, maybe after the round of 16. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys. Take care. Goodbye.